Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you. Many things are happening that are exciting, very exciting for our country.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the world leaders who stand head and shoulders above the rest. For this list, we considered a variety of different factors that make a leader powerful, like military strength, economic power, and overall personal influence.
We have worked on building digital India.
Number 10, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates.
ليش نحن قررنا على هذا القرار الكبير للسلام؟ حقيقة هناك وجدنا فرصة، قررنا أن يكون هناك.
The third son of Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the UAE's first president, Mohammed has made significant changes to his country since taking office, and even beforehand as the crown prince. His efforts to increase the UAE's prosperity include signing the Abraham Accords, which would facilitate diplomatic relations with Israel, and introducing several sweeping economic policies.
واحد للفلسطينيين أنفسهم، اثنين لإرسال رسالة واضحة للعالم وللمنطقة أن نحن ساعين لهذا السلام. ثلاثة هي رسالة نحن ورثناها من المؤسس الشيخ زايد رحمة ربي عليه.
These policies include introducing value-added and corporate taxes and sit alongside advancements in human rights like dismantling Sharia law and relaxing social restrictions on Muslim residents. These propositions led to Mohammed being named the most powerful Arab ruler by the New York Times, as well as one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in 2019.
هذا القرار كنا نتطلع إلى تعاون أكبر من السلام نفسه، ولكن دولة الإمارات تطمح إلى سلام أكبر من ذلك، وهو النفع العام.
Number 9. Ali Khamenei, Supreme Leader of Iran.
This is the policies adopted by our enemy to sow the seeds of division, to sow the seeds of sedition, and to drive a wedge among all the Muslims.
There's simply no other way of saying it. On Iranian soil, there's no one person who has consolidated more individual power than Khamenei, the longest-serving Middle Eastern leader, as well as second longest-serving Iranian leader. The Grand Ayatollah is the head of state, commander-in-chief, and has final say over most governmental policies.
The enemies of the Muslim nations are the same enemies to the Palestinians, to the Lebanese, to the Egyptians, and to the Iraqis.
Khamenei's influence extends even further, with his position allowing him a stake in virtually every branch of government. This is in addition to overseeing the media. Khamenei's critics have decried his overwhelming personal power. Human rights violations by the state are allegedly rampant, with the supreme leader accused of overseeing the assassinations of journalists, protesters, and any other dissenters. Number 8. Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel.
The collapse of the Assad regime, the tyranny in Damascus, offers great opportunity, but also is fraught with significant dangers. This collapse is a direct result of our forceful action against Hezbollah and Iran, Assad's main supporters. It set off a chain reaction of all those who want to free themselves from this tyranny and its suppression.
Arguably the best-known Israeli politician ever, Netanyahu has amassed a controversial coalition of international backing for his country's ongoing war with the Palestinian militant organization Hamas, including the United Kingdom, Germany, and most prominently the United States. Israel's support by Western nations has largely kept its war efforts afloat.
But it also means we have to take action against possible threats. One of them is the collapse of the Separation of Forces Agreement from 1974 between Israel and Syria. This agreement held for 50 years. Last night it collapsed. The Syrian army abandoned its positions.
Keep in mind, this is even as it's been criticized for flagrant human rights violations in Israeli-occupied Gaza. Netanyahu has touted his close relationship with longtime friend and U.S. President Donald J. Trump, and remains on good terms with other controversial world leaders, like Hungary's Viktor Orban, India's Narendra Modi, and Russia's Vladimir Putin.
We gave the Israeli army the order to take over these positions to ensure that no hostile force embeds itself right next to the border of Israel. This is a temporary defensive position until a suitable arrangement is found. Equally, we send a hand of peace to all those beyond our border in Syria.
Number 7. Emmanuel Macron, President of France.
Je pense qu'il faut déléguer notre géopolitique aux États-Unis d'Amérique, il faut déléguer notre modèle de croissance à nos clients chinois, il faut déléguer notre innovation technologique aux hyperscalers américains. C'est pas la meilleure idée.
Macron took office after an election fraught with tension, assuaging fears that his opponent, Marine Le Pen, would implement a far-right agenda. The Renaissance Party leader became the youngest ever leader elected to the French presidency, aged only 39 at the time in 2017. Marketing himself as a common-sense centrist who draws from both sides of the political aisle, Macron loosened France's infamously strict labor laws, which helped to alleviate unemployment.
Le monde est fait d'herbivores et de carnivores. Si on décide de rester des herbivores, les carnivores gagneront. Et nous serons un marché pour eux.
Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Macron restored some of his country's global competitiveness by expanding welfare programs and revising healthcare policies to make certain procedures free of charge, in addition to pursuing an increasingly green agenda.
Je pense qu'au moins, ce serait pas mal de choisir d'être des omnivores. Je veux pas être agressif, je veux juste qu'on sache se défendre sur chacun de ces sujets. Mais je n'ai pas envie de laisser l'Europe comme un formidable théâtre habité par des herbivores que des carnivores, selon leur agenda, viendront dévorer.
Number 6. Olaf Schultz, Chancellor of Germany.
Wir sind kein Land des Gegeneinanders, auch nicht des Aneinander vorbei, sondern ein Land des Miteinanders. Und daraus können wir Kraft schöpfen, erst recht in schwierigen Zeiten wie diesen. Und die Zeiten sind schwierig, das spüren wir alle.
Upon ascending to the chancellorship in 2021, it was clear that Schultz faced a significant uphill political battle. Angela Merkel, Schultz's predecessor, had made a worldwide name for herself as the unofficial leader of the European Union.
Unsere Wirtschaft hat zu kämpfen, das Leben ist teurer geworden und viele blicken mit einem Gefühl wachsender Beklemmung auf Russlands brutalen Angriffskrieg gegen die Ukraine. Ich versichere Ihnen, dass wir die Ukraine nicht alleine lassen und weiter unterstützen, wie niemand sonst in Europa, und dass wir weiter kühlen Kopf bewahren, damit der Krieg sich nicht ausweitet.
While Schultz, of course, had big shoes to fill, he cautiously but steadily handled the baton passed to him. As the heart of the European Union, Schultz has maintained the world's third-largest economy, after the United States and China. Schultz has also committed to funding considerable military spending, authorizing budget increases to German defense. However, it should be noted that a September 2024 poll reported Schultz's dismal 18% approval rating, and that after losing a December 2024 no-confidence vote, faces a February 2025 election.
84 Millionen, gerade einmal 1% der Weltbevölkerung und trotzdem die drittgrößte Wirtschaftsmacht der Welt. Weil wir fleißig sind, weil heute mehr Frauen und Männer arbeiten gehen als je zuvor in unserer Geschichte. Darunter sind auch viele aus anderen Ländern, die hier bei uns mit anpacken und längst Teil der Erfolgsgeschichte Deutschlands sind. Lassen wir uns also nicht auseinander dividieren.
Number 5. Mohammed bin Salman, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
We have in the past few issues in Saudi Arabia and a lot of opportunities that we didn't use. We're trying to capture that and to go forward for a better Saudi Arabia. And that's what we're trying to do.
Mohammed, who also serves as the 6th Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, has been called the face of a new generation of 21st century Middle Eastern leadership. His Saudi Vision 2030 plan aims to reduce Saudi Arabia's dependence on oil, as well as expand foreign investment and the tourism industry. This push for self-determination also emphasizes domestic manufacturing and establishing Saudi Arabia as a scientific hotspot.
And it's a big vision.
It is a big vision, and we get like surprised every day that we reach our target faster, and we extend that to a newer target and a bigger ambition. So it's really exciting.
Mohammed has also sought to increase Saudi Arabia's global visibility by focusing attention on his country's foreign policy, strengthening the nation's relationships with Russia and China, as well as other emerging markets. While he has been lauded for making progress on human rights, like removing Saudi Arabia's ban on female drivers, his government has been routinely criticized for its authoritarian bent.
Well, you can see in 2022 we are the fastest G20 country growing. And also in this year, if you take just the non-oil GDP part, we are the second fastest in the G20 growing. So it's like a fight between Saudi Arabia and India, a good fight.
Number 4, Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India.
Democracy is the idea that welcomes debate and discourse. Democracy is the culture that gives wings to thought and expression.
Despite accusations of democratic backsliding, Modi has drawn consistently high approval ratings in his native India and has routinely been ranked as one of the most powerful and influential people on earth. As noted by the BBC in 2024, Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party's, quote, electoral triumphs are often linked to Mr. Modi's charisma, adept use of religious polarization, and assertive Hindu nationalism, coupled with a record of effective governance. Modi has increased military spending over time and has put India on a path to meeting the goals set out by the Paris Agreement, as of 2025, the only major world economy in this position.
India is blessed to have such values from times immemorial. In the evolution of the democratic spirit, India is the mother of democracy.
Number 3, Vladimir Putin, President of Russia.
2025 год, завершающий первую четверть 21 века. В России этот период был наполнен многими, в том числе исторически значимыми, масштабными событиями. Мы ставили перед собой большие цели и достигали их.
Is it accurate to say that Putin is the most controversial world leader in power? While the jury's still out on that one, it's hard to deny the cult of personality that Putin has amassed in over 25 cumulative years as president of Russia.
Да, нам предстоит еще многое решить. Но мы можем по праву гордиться тем, что уже сделано. Это наше общее достояние, надежная основа для дальнейшего развития. Наша страна, независимая, свободная и сильная, смогла дать ответ на сложнейший вызов.
Putin stands accused of significant human rights violations, deep corruption, and media censorship, having consolidated Russian power in his hands, as well as that of his closest allies. Ranked by Forbes as the world's second most powerful person in 2018, critics have alleged that Putin has increasingly centralized the Kremlin's authority, leading to Russia being labeled an authoritarian regime.
Уверены, что все будет хорошо, будем идти только вперед. Точно знаем, что абсолютной ценностью для нас была, есть и будет судьба России, благополучие ее.
Number 2, Donald Trump, President of the United States.
Since the election, as you know, a lot of positive things have happened. We are inheriting a difficult situation from the outgoing administration, and they're trying everything they can to make it more difficult. Inflation is continuing to rage, and interest rates are far too high.
The first U.S. president with no prior military or government experience, as well as only the second ever president to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Pretty much everyone can agree that former real estate magnate and television personality Trump is a politician unlike any other. As the leader of the world's only remaining superpower, Trump is the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military on Earth. He's also the force shaping the policies behind the world's largest economy.
We had a landslide election. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions and millions of people. Nobody even knows how many people, millions. And they're still counting in some areas. You know, they're still counting the vote in some areas. Can you believe this?
Trump is also granted the ability to sign executive orders which bypass Congress. Although Trump is viewed largely unfavorably around the world, his unpredictability, when coupled with his presidential authority, makes him a force to be reckoned with.
President Biden's actions yesterday on offshore drilling, banning offshore drilling, will not stand. I will reverse it immediately. It'll be done immediately. And we will drill, baby, drill. And we're going to be drilling in a lot of other locations. And the energy costs are going to come way down. They'll be brought down to a very low level.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Xi Jinping, President of China.
We are in an era of challenges and changes. It is also an era of hope. The world needs China and the United States to work together for a better future.
It seems fair to say that in 2025, Xi is the most influential Chinese leader since Mao Zedong, ushering in a number of political, economic, and social reforms intended to centralize his government's power. Part of that power derives from Xi's abolishment of term limits in 2018 and his efforts to entrench the Chinese Communist Party in everyday life.
The largest developing country, that is China, and the largest developed country, the United States, we must get along with each other.
All under the banner of his Xi Jinping thought doctrine for dictating his ruling style. Censorship and state-owned media have become increasingly common under Xi, extolling his and the CCP's greatness. Xi manages the world's second-largest economy, and his country's investments in manufacturing and cementing its global influence have led many to describe it as an emerging superpower.
In a world of changes and chaos, it is ever more important for us to have the mind, assume the vision, shoulder the responsibility, and play the role that come along with our status as major countries.
Who do you think is the most powerful world leader? Do you think it'll stay that way? Be sure to let us know in the comments below.
The windmills are driving the whales crazy, obviously.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.